we're gonna do a review of the Peak Design Outdoor Sling 4-liter. In this video, we're gonna pack it out, talk about the honest pros and the cons. We're also gonna compare it to the 7-liter and the 2-liter, which we reviewed previously, with the ultimate goal of helping you decide if this is the sling for you. But if it's not, you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video where I'll make some alternative suggestions that might better suit your needs. But first up, let's talk about the gist of the Peak Design Outdoor Sling 4-liter. Peak Design is a US-based brand from San Fran, and they're known for making really great carry gear, but they also dabble in other stuff. They do some like phone mounts, and they also do a lot of photography gear, but this is their first adventure into the great world of the outdoors. And what's great about this sling, and the other slings and the backpacks in this line, is just how lightweight they are. And they've also got some sneaky features of their own. Let's talk about the top features of the 4-liter version of the sling. As I mentioned, it's got that super lightweight and malleable build, quick access, front pocket with a key leash, a very spacious main compartment with a bit of organization. We've got a semi-hidden back slot right here that also has a magnetic closure and a cozy shoulder strap that's got some additional padding that is also removable. As of recording, the outdoor sling comes in 3 color options. Let's talk dimensions. We've got a maximum width of around 12 inches, a height of around 6.5 inches, and a fully packed out depth of around 5 inches. Now, as the name suggests, it is 4 liters in size, and we're gonna put that to the test. So you're gonna fill it up with our Bago balls, and ooh, we're already cutting it a little close. As you can see, we filled up the main compartment and the front pocket as much as possible. Do fast forwardy noises. So as you can see, we're looking at around 3.5 liters, I'd say, based on our measurements, which means you can kind of count it as like a super tight 4-liter sling. This is the sling when it's empty, and this is the sling when it's fully packed out and worn on me. I'm 5'8", and I'm gonna pack out the sling throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All Peak Design products are backed by their lifetime warranty, and it's one of the best lifetime warranties in the game. They actually honor it, like extremely consistently, which has allowed them to build quite the loyal fan base. And for all that, this sling runs around $75 US. Now we're gonna start getting into the meat and potatoes of this review, but if at any point during the video, you're thinking about making a purchase or you wanna find out more information, we do request doing so with the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the outside of the Peak Design Outdoor Sling 4-liter. Starting off by talking about just the overall build, and I think it's really important to note, like, if you look at Peak Design old slings, like this guy right here, that is one padded, beefy sling. And there's a good reason. And Peak Design's earlier bags and slings were very photographer focused. And if you got an expensive DSLR, one thing that can help protect that is a really padded bag. Over the years, Peak Design has still stayed true to their photographer roots, but they've also kind of explored other sub-niches. And it should be noted, like, I'm not a photographer, so this is gonna be more just from like the use case of like everyday carry. But in their marketing photos, they do showcase this bag being used with a camera. Tab, would you use this with a camera?
Nope.
Why not?
I have a camera bag.
See, there you go. Which is good because we're not gonna talk about it from a camera perspective. We're gonna talk about it just from like general EDC, both urban and outdoor. And one thing that I love on an EDC sling is a lightweight and malleable build. Don't get me wrong, I understand the benefits of the alternative, but this just feels so light and breezy, dude. The biggest reason for that is going to be this primary fabric. And this fabric is a 210D ripstop. 210 is the denier, which is quite thin. Some of the bags we review by like companies by like Air, they'll use a 1680D. Damn, it's literally like what, like 5, 6, 7? Me not good at math, but it's significantly thicker. And then the ripstop is all those squares in the fabric, which is just reinforced grid stitching, which means if there's a rip in the fabric, it's likely to stop that rip from spreading, ripping further. Overall, it gives the sling a very low-key vibe, and Peak Design's branding not too loud, so it's not really adding too much on top of that. I actually kind of like the coppery color on the black. But out of all the colors, I think the purple rocks. We got the purple in 7-liter, or it's like a maroon, I'm not sure. Let me know which color you prefer most out of these slings.
It's wine.
It's wine? It's like a burgundy. I used to be a cabbie savvy kind of a guy, but yeah, let us know which color you prefer. The black, the wine, vino. I don't have a white one with me. Let me know your color preferences in the comments. Now we're gonna talk about the pockets of the sling in the next section. So let's talk about the shoulder strap and the overall comfort of this sling. Because there's a lot of things to love about this shoulder strap and some things that kind of irks me a little bit. The size is nice. We're looking at 1 inch width, and that width increases by around 50% for the padded shoulder strap, as we're about 1.5 inches thick there. And the padded shoulder strap, you know, it has some decent padding. It's not too soft, but not too dense. For me, I don't know if you need like this much padding on a smaller sling like this. It kind of almost in some ways negates the lightweight vibe and feel. But in the case that you are carrying heavier gear, camera, water bottle, whatever it is that you're taking on that hike, then the padded shoulder strap can definitely create a more comfortable experience. One other thing that's controversial on the Peak Design slings is this piece of hardware right here, which I am absolutely in love with. This is designed with Woojin, who's the best hardware company on the planet as far as I'm concerned. And look at how smooth this opening and closing is. It's a new piece of hardware. I had never seen it before until this line. Oh God, I'm like that. That's just a joy to use. But while it's very easy for you to then take off your body, some people have complained that if it's easy for you, it's also easy for a thief, right? If you're wearing this around a crowded city and a thief just kind of pulls one of those, much easier to undo than like a traditional buckle. Not by much, but for some, it is a little bit of a compromise in the security of the sling. And for the shoulder strap, we've got a full length, 55.5 inches. Now, one cool thing about a shoulder strap that can be removed is that it allows the sling to be kind of multifunctional. As where when you're rocking it in sling mode with the shoulder strap on, it's a sling. But then also when you pop the shoulder strap off, this can be a tech pouch, packing cube, dop kit. The ability to remove the shoulder strap just kind of gives you that versatility. Clipping the shoulder strap on and off is easy enough. Just got this hardware right here. Nope, this is Peak Design hardware. You just go ahead and clip it on both sides, easy peasy. Now here's one negative aspect about this sling is we do have a lot of excess dangle going on. Just like I've reviewed like hundreds of slings and they all just kind of handle their shoulder strap and their harness system and then that excess dangle management in different ways. This one's not my favorite as we have excess dangle coming out on both sides. But Peak Design has mitigated that by giving you a little stowage space right here, which you can go ahead and slide the excess nylon webbing into there, certainly creating a cleaner carrying experience. It's a little cumbersome, not the end of the world, and most importantly, it's keeping our dangle protester happy. Smile, little guy. And you can see right there, nice, clean, good to go. But it should be noted, you're only probably doing that once unless you're actually taking the strap off and putting it back on again. A couple other quick notes about the strap. We do have an external lash point right here on the padded part of the shoulder strap. It's a good spot just to clip things externally on your bag, like maybe your hand sanitizer, possibly a key leash. And you can see at the bottom, we've got 2 more lash points, and Peak Design sells their own lash clips, so you can clip whatever you want to the bottom of the sling. Crap, last note, top handle. I don't like this top handle very much. I think that it gives a nice sleek look to the bag. It's not like a beefy, chunky top handle, but it's just kind of weird and strange. It's innovative, it's different. I just think that like in the situation that you're actually gonna use this top handle, it's not very comfortable. It doesn't really have much other function. You can't clip this piece of hardware onto here. Believe me, we just tried. Yeah, overall not crazy about that. What do you think? Good handle design choice? Is there some functionality that I'm missing? Again, let me know in the comments below. So that should cover the outside of the sling. Let's jump into the inside of the Peak Design Outdoor Sling 4-liter. Starting with the back pocket, again, a bit of controversy with this as to where it's nice, as to the magnet does help to create some extra security. And the pocket itself basically covers the entire back panel, so you got some decent like real estate to work with. But the lack of a zipper or a stronger magnet here might leave some, craving a bit more security. Especially, this would be a great flight companion, I think. Although it's an outdoor sling. It's light, it wouldn't attract too much attention, so like when you get to your actual destination, being your day sling, like I'm all about that. So you might want to put your passport and or boarding pass back there, but it's just, it's an okay spot for it. The good thing though, is there is enough depth, which gives a bit of extra security, so you can see I throw my wallet in there. And the wallet is all the way down here, so the magnet actually doesn't feel too shabby back there. Nice and safe, protected against your torso. Now for the front pocket, Peak Design is utilizing their typical zippers, which are zoom zips, and they are utilizing a PU coating. Good news about Peak Design PU coated zippers is they usually aren't very sticky. They have a really nice smoothness to them, even though they have the polyurethane coating. But the bad news is they definitely can peel. This will depend on how much exposure to sunlight and or humidity these zippers get, but it's something to definitely be aware of. Tav, your Peak Design zip, tech pouch?
Yeah, dude, it peels, but to be honest, it didn't affect the functionality at all.
Good point, and I will give Peak Design that. Although their PU does peel over time, it's not as bad as I've seen in other slings, like let's say Air, as to where it can kind of compromise the functionality. But Peak Design's, there's a little bit of an aesthetic compromise, but yeah, your tech pouch still opens and closes like a champ.
Yeah, 0 issues.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and pack out the front and main compartment. Time for a good old-fashioned episode of Will It Fit? So you can see I got a bunch of common EDC stuff. And we're gonna see how it fits into the 4-liter and also compare and contrast that to the 2-liter and the 7-liter. Now let's talk hydration. It's an outdoor sling, right? And what's great about the just structure of this sling, and like I said, how lightweight it is also the amount of space that design gives you. Because if there was a ton of padding in here and a bunch of pockets on the inside, you wouldn't have this big old cave, but we do have a big old cave. And a big old cave means a 24-ounce Columbia water bottle should be able to fit, oh yeah, no problemo. In contrast, the 2-liter, are we gonna fit the 24-ounce? I don't think so. Yeah, just a little out of reach on the 2-liter version of the Sling.
Probably stretch that, right?
Think so? He's right. All right, just barely in reach on the 2-liter version. So if you're looking for just a water bottle, the 2-liter will be fine, but if you want a water bottle and then some, that's when we get into 4-liter territory. But also for reference, the 1-liter Yeti, it ain't gonna fit in the 4-liter. So you got a big old water bottle, the 7-liter is absolutely the way to go. But yeah, like I said, I think it's make a great travel sling. So let's just like pretend I got to a new destination, wanna go explore. This is all the stuff I'll be taking with me. Some batteries, keep my phone charged. Book for some light park bench reading. We got a back zippered pocket right here. Should be noted, all these pockets are using like an elasticy Darlington mesh. And I always love this mesh because it actually has some expansion from left to right, but it doesn't up and down. Some black magic right there. And that sleeve, I'm gonna throw some pens. Also could be a great spot for your boarding pass and or passport. Also gonna throw a tote bag in there, also by Peak Design. Great compressible tote. Good if you're going souvenir and or grocery shopping. Front pocket here has a bit of volume in itself, but I'm gonna be honest, it's not a lot. You're not fitting a 1-liter Yeti water bottle into that pocket. So it's great for smaller things. You can throw your AirPods in there, or you might even be able to fit like a hard shell glasses case by itself. Perfection. Now, in case you're not traveling with a book, let's try a pair of Sony XM-H5 over-the-head headphones. You can see we can slide those in, and they do, in fact, fit very nicely. So the 4-liter, quite versatile in terms of what it can fit. And I was excited about this one because I think out of all the sizes, this should be like the best seller. As for the 7-liter, this is just gonna be too big for most people. It depends on what you carry. Like I know people who love slings this size. For me though, it's just like, I'd rather just use a backpack when I'm at this size of a sling. Because it's a 7-liter, but it feels like a 10-liter. And I'd just rather have like a nice like 10-liter small backpack so I have that little extra space. But this size might be too small for people, as while it's a nice pocket reliever size, you're not gonna fit the over-the-head headphones and like the water bottle in here. What about you though? Let me know, like which size are you most interested in? For me, I think most people will get the most value out of the 4-liter, but I wanna hear what you gotta say in the comments below. Now, before we jump into the overall pros and the cons, I gotta let you know that if you are digging this review, you might be smitten to find out that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do videos on our YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, we take this whole like gear deep dive and go even deeper with it. And you can look at me like your reporter on the field, giving you the juice on the newest releases, limited edition drops, plus you get exclusive access to our discount codes and giveaways. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible industry, just look for this globe emoji in the description below. I hope to see you in your inbox. Okay, let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Peak Design Outdoor Sling 4-liter. Pro number 1, just how lightweight and malleable it is. Pro number 2 is it's just kind of the perfect size for a lot of everyday and travel items. And pro number 3 is gonna be for some people, this padded shoulder strap is gonna be a godsend, especially if you consistently carry heavier loads. But on the flip side, I have some cons as well. Con number 1, it's not quite a full 4 liters. Con number 2, this handle, it's just not my favorite. And con number 3 is gonna be the lack of security when it comes to the back pocket. But just a reminder, if you've weighed all the pros and all the cons and you're gonna make a purchase, we highly suggest doing so using the first link in the description, just because that makes sure you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's what they'll be. But if you're not quite sold, let's talk about some alternative recommendations that might better suit your needs. First up, if you're new to the channel, I highly recommend watching our Nomads Nation leaderboard video. This is where myself and the Nomads Nation crew, we all get together and talk about our favorite bags in our favorite bag categories. And this is a great way just to kind of see what the best options are on the market for different use cases. That's linked above. But if we're pretty close with the Peak Design Outdoor Sling, here's a couple of alternatives that you might like better. Alternative number 1 is going to be the Bellroy Light Sling. It's a great pick for you if you're totally digging this whole, light design, ripstop, malleable materials, but you just want to see it executed slightly differently. I think Bellroy is a little bit more quirky in their design, and there's a couple of features that it has that you might prefer more. And alternative recommendation number 2 is going to be the Alpaca Flight Sling. Great pick for you if, again, you're looking for a lightweight, malleable sling, but you want something that's a bit more on the urban side. This sling and the Bellroy I just mentioned are definitely a bit more designed for the great outdoors versus the Alpaca Flight Sling and some features that accommodate that aesthetic. Honestly, I love all 3 slings. You can't go wrong with any of them. But to learn more about the alternatives, just go ahead and watch these videos right here. I'm gonna leave them both on the screen for a second so you can decide which one interests you most. In the meantime, if you have any questions, be sure to let us know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.